a woman was hit by a bus. I mean, what in the Regina George? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Leandra the TBR0, and today I'm starting hopefully a 3-part series in which I try to read every single Christmas mystery I have wrapped in these books. There are 16 books that I have wrapped. You can see that they're numbered. I've got 1 here. I've got 16 here. There are only 12 days of Christmas, and there are only 12 wintry or Christmas mysteries that I have wrapped within these books. What does that mean? Well, that means I have 4 white elephants within these packages. Those are books that are set in tropical locations, set in summer, and just the opposite of the holiday season. And my hope is to try to read, unwrap all of the Christmas and wintry books before I get to number 16, because the last thing I want to do is force myself to read 16 books. But you know what? That's part of the challenge. So I wrapped these back in December of 2023. These books have literally been wrapped and under my bed for over a year, meaning that I don't remember what they are. I don't remember which numbers are associated with what type of book they are, and that is terrifying. So what we're gonna do is probably try to read 4 or 5 books per vlog, just to give myself the attempt at reading everything in a timely fashion. But you know what? We're gonna see what happens. So because at the moment this is a very secret project that I've started, the only people who know that I'm doing this are my manor guests. And I ended up asking my sleuths, my top tier at the manor, to provide me with numbers. So at the moment, not every number is in here. This isn't a jar full of 1 through 16. It's only numbers chosen by my sleuths. So we're going to use them for this first vlog to see if they can help me or hurt me. Obviously, if I end up choosing my first book to be a white elephant, I'm already at a deficit. I'm already going to be reading 13 books instead of 12, and I'm a little nervous about it. If this vlog goes out and I'm not even done with vlogs 2 or 3, then feel free to comment a number below on what you think I should be doing next, because yeah, I'm gonna need more recommendations than just what's in this jar. Okay, I'm actually really nervous because I have no idea what I'm gonna get first, or even what I'm in the mood for. Maybe I want a white elephant to get it out of the way, but we'll see what happens. My first number is, one second, I dropped it. My first number is 13. So that is going to be the package that I unwrap first. Ooh, it's a thin one. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's good or bad. Oh gosh, okay, here we go. It's gonna be the first book of a very long vlog project. Okay, the first thing I'm seeing gives me nothing. I have no idea what this book is. Okay, ready? All right, so we have The Moving Toy Shop by Edmund Crispin. I don't remember if I made this a white elephant or if I'm making it count for wintry season. Leandra, what were you doing? That's right. So this is a classic golden age detective fiction, and it's one I've been really meaning to read for quite some time. I am 99% sure that I'm counting this for wintry or Christmas because of the fact that it's involving toys, toy shops, Santa. So I feel like it's all coming back to me, meaning that for now I am 1 for 12 as far as unwrapping a Christmas or wintry related gift. So I've been avoiding the white elephants, obviously, for now, but we have a long process ahead of us. This is probably a really good one to start with too, because it's not one of the heavy Christmas or holiday related ones that I do have wrapped. So yeah, we're dipping our toes into the holiday season. Okay, oh my gosh, thank you so much for putting in number 13, my fantastic sleuth. I'm gonna have to double check who it was because I meant to write it down on the piece of paper and I didn't. So I'll be sure to do a little bit of an individual shout out to you. So yeah, thanks. I can't wait. Good morning! I have an update. I have finally picked up the Moving Toy Shop by Edmund Crispin, my first book of 12 books of Murdermas, and I'm really enjoying it. It's so fun. I'm only 50 pages in, but with a 200-page novel, that means I'm already a quarter of the way through the story, and there are so many tropes that I'm already really enjoying in this. So it follows Richard Cadigan. He is a poet, so we are playing around with a little of a mystery theme, but that's kind of where it ends. He has decided to go off an adventure. He feels as though it will help him prevent aging. He feels as though he's getting old. He needs adventure. And so for his next book, he ends up getting like a 50-pound advance so he could go on vacation, because back in the day, you could go on vacation with just 50 pounds in your pocket. Crazy. So he goes to Oxford, and while he's there, he arrives really late at night. It's kind of this crazy venture, like the train stop. He ends up having to hitchhike, but he arrives. It's very late at night. He finds that this one shop is open and it's unlocked, but no one's inside. It's clearly a toy shop because there are toys everywhere on the shelves, and the further he goes into the shop, the more sinister it seems, and he realizes he probably shouldn't be there, but he decides to keep, searching, keep trying to find maybe the proprietor to let them know, hey, your store is unlocked, so thieves could come and steal your items. But he ends up tripping over a dead body, and that dead body ends up being a woman, which I will say is kind of weird that they keep calling her elderly and she's like in her 50s. I get that maybe in the 1930s, like maybe people weren't expected to live super long, but I feel like it's a bit insulting to keep calling her an elderly woman when she seems to be like 50 something. But anyways, so he is shocked, but he's also not alone. So when he discovers the body, he realizes someone else is also in the shop with him, or at least in the apartment above the shop, and they pursue him. They hit him over the head. The next morning he awakens in a random closet in a store, and he's like, oh my god, I need to run. I need to get to the police. So he is like staggering, finds himself at the police station, tells them what he's seen, that there is a dead woman at the toy shop. I know where it is, I'll take you. He takes them, and in its place there is a grocer. Somehow over the night, in like the course of like 4 or 5 hours, this toy shop has been transformed into a grocery store. Obviously, there is no dead body in sight. So we have a vanishing corpse trope. I love it. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I don't know why I waited so long to read this, because it is one of my favorite tropes in detective fiction, when a body is suddenly disappearing or it's like moving in different locations. It is literally the like most hilarious and mysterious thing to ever happen. Is just like, why are we moving a dead body? It just leads to a lot of questions. Plus, we don't know who this woman is. At least when he obviously stumbles upon her body, she's just an unknown person. So when he realizes that he has been bamboozled, that not only did the toy shop disappear, but this unknown woman, how is he going to investigate? Well, he ends up getting his friend Jervis Fenn, and this actually is a Jervis Fenn mystery. I think it's the 3rd book in the series, who is a professor at, I think it's at Oxford. We're just gonna move forward assuming it's Oxford University, but he is a professor, and the two of them used to attend university together, so that's why they're friends. But they're just a very odd pair, and as they are traipsing, Oxford, trying to figure out who this woman is, they end up getting into some, hot water. Cadigan is wanted by the police for a different crime. We're not gonna get into it. As you can tell, the narrative style is very humorous. The tone is lighthearted, even though there have been some tense moments. Like, I was kind of chilled as he was entering this toy shop and just knowing in his gut that things weren't as they should be. But yeah, I really want to continue going. I may actually finish this today just because I'm loving it so much. And I will say that by the 50-page mark, so by a quarter of the way through the book, we do know the identity of the dead woman. We still don't know why she was found in a toy shop that has suddenly, poof, disappeared. And there is a question of whether an inheritance and a certain deadline were involved. I won't get too much more into it because I really enjoyed going into it as blind as possible, so I would love for you to do the same. But yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna finish it today. So you may see me again very soon. Well, you will see me soon in like a second, but I may see you soon for my timeline. Okay, I'm just gonna go read. I just finished my first of 12 books for Murdermas, meaning that I have 11 more to find and 4 white elephants to try to avoid for as long as possible. So this was my first ever Edmund Crispin, and I think my update with you all was really positive. I was enjoying the premise. I was intrigued by the dynamic amongst the characters. It was really funny. I could not anticipate where this novel was going, and I can confirm all of those things are still accurate. But would I recommend this book? Probably not to most people, just because it was ridiculous. Like, there were so many elements that I just thought were really far-fetched, which could be entertaining. With that said, there are also some elements to the narrative that I just don't think most people would actually enjoy, particularly animal death. Apparently, Edmund Crispin is known for that. I was talking to Caroline, the host of She Done It, because I wanted to let her know, hey, I'm reading Edmund Crispin, and it's really serendipitous because right this moment, she's actually scripting an entire episode featuring him because she's read his entire canon in anticipation of that episode. So she said, yeah, it's a bit odd to say this, but that's something he's known for. Whenever you see a pet, a well-loved animal, it's likely going to die by the end of the book. And that does happen in here. So I just want to make you all aware that there's a dog that does not make it. And it was so flippant, the aftermath of this death. And I was so shocked. And so I would not recommend that. But also there was just so much going on. There was a car chase, there was a bicycle chase, there were people on foot chasing other people who were also chasing people on foot. Like, we had a 5-person foot race at one point, and I was just like, what is happening? Then a woman was hit by a bus. I mean, what in the Regina George? You could not anticipate where this narrative was going. Plus, when it comes to Golden Age detective fiction, there is far more use of guns, which you don't usually expect in, Golden Age. So I would not recommend this narrative, even though there were moments that were quite funny and entertaining. The ending just wasn't satisfying. The overall killer was kind of lackluster. So yeah, I would try him again, but I would not recommend this novel to a lot of people. Moving right along, I did end up prematurely unwrapping my second book for the vlog, and that is because I was hosting All Manor sprints yesterday, and I really wanted the Manor to participate in this and be able to see my reaction to my next book. So I pulled, my next number and unwrapped the book on screen. So we're gonna go back to past Leandra so you can see what that book was. Drum roll, please. Okay, I'm not gonna look. Okay, everyone. Let's see what it is. Number 8. I'm gonna try and do it so that you guys can see. Oh, actually, this is very easy. Okay, ready? It's one of the white elephants. Oh no. That's right. I am going to be reading Agatha Christie's A Caribbean Mystery. This does follow Miss Marple, our elderly spinster sleuth. I'm very excited to return to Miss Marple because it has been a little while since I have read one following her in the canon of Agatha Christie, and I'm also a bit pensive. Even though there are some books that I absolutely love following this sleuth, including 450 from Paddington, Murder at the Vicarage, The Body in the Library, there are also some that I really dislike, specifically Nemesis. And what's unfortunate is that Nemesis is a companion novel to A Caribbean Mystery. I didn't know that when I decided to read Nemesis, but there is a pivotal character in both novels, and we meet that character for the first time in A Caribbean Mystery. So I'm excited to meet this person, but I also don't have high hopes. It also obviously means that I have unwrapped my first white elephant. I only have 3 left, and I have so many more books that I have to get through for Murdermas. So we knew this was going to happen. I just was hoping it'd be delayed a little bit longer. The, nice thing about this is it's a very short novel, and Agatha Christie just reads very quick for me. So I'm not worried about getting through it very fast, and then we can unwrap the 3rd book for the vlog. But oh boy, this just means that at minimum, I'm going to be reading 13 books for this series. We'll see if I have to add more to that list. morning. We are definitely getting into the wintry weather this week. As you saw in some of my B-roll, it started snowing. It has warmed up enough where the snow has actually melted by this point, but now we are having a really windy day. I'm very cozy, and now I'm starting to feel as though all of my little pumpkins are not on the season. So I need to actually decorate my shelves and change things up. And one of the things I'm hoping to do is kind of detangle these lights. I was really silly. I ended up taking them out of the box and undoing all the little tassels. And it literally in the directions told you you shouldn't do that before you hang it up because it, increases the chances of tangling. So these lights are not up yet. And that's the reason. But I have been active in my reading life, and I'm a third of the way through a Caribbean mystery. I actually think I'm going to finish it today. I feel really confident, and that's great for my schedule because I'm a little bit behind. I need to unwrap my third gift ASAP, but this one is just a really easy read. I'm not surprised that I'm not as enamored by it because I've always felt as though Agatha Christie's later works, so the books published in especially the 60s and 70s, just don't work for me. I feel as though Christie was a bit in decline as far as her prowess as the queen of crime. We are seeing some of her poorly aged thoughts and viewpoints. Some of them I appreciate as far as her views on the differences between, the older generations and the younger generations and how both just seem to misunderstand each other. Actually, this tab is for one of those moments, and it was kind of a humorous time. So she's talking to one of the younger characters, Molly, who's a bit of a host at this cruise ship extravaganza. She's orchestrating the events, trying to entertain people, and there are a bunch of regulars, people who return to the Caribbean on this specific voyage every year. They spend 3 months doing it and then they just go back to their lives. Then there are people who are newer to this type of excursion, and that includes Miss Marple. But Miss Marple is having kind of a back and forth with Molly, and Molly says, yes, it's horrid having a death here. Oh, by the way, the death has already happened. So we ended up having Major Palgrave, this very chatty older man who loves to discuss his times in Kenya and India and kind of just bore people with his stories. But there is a really great beginning of this chapter, of the first chapter in the book, where Miss Marple just says that she's doing a kindness. He enjoys telling these stories, and she's happy to provide him this audience that he needs in his loneliness. And I found that very poignant and really lovely. But he unfortunately has died under mysterious circumstances. Everyone thinks that it's because he failed to take certain blood pressure medication that he should be taking every day. However, Miss Marple is thinking, none of us ever heard him say that he had blood pressure issues. Also, this seems like a bit of a coincidence because the day before he died, he was telling her about the story in which he was told secondhand that there was a murder, a man was murdering his wives in the same way, and this is a bit of an allusion to The Brides in the Bath. If you don't know that true crime case, I highly recommend you check it out because it is wild, especially how long it took people to realize that this one man kept killing his wives by drowning them in the bath. I think 3 or 4 women died, and then they were like, oh, this is a pattern. It's yeah, it's a pattern. But I really loved that in this book they mentioned that case, and so he was about to show Miss Marple a photograph of the killer, and he wasn't able to. They were interrupted by other guests, and he was kind of flustered. So now Miss Marple is like, what was that photo? It's also now missing now that they've discovered the body. Things are getting fishy. But anyways, let me get to this quote. So Molly says, yes, it's horrid having a death here. It makes everyone depressed. Of course, he was quite old. And then, of course, Miss Marple responds, he seemed quite well and cheerful yesterday, said Miss Marple, slightly resenting this calm assumption that everyone of advanced years was liable to die at any minute. And I was like, yeah, Miss Marple, I think that is a valid frustration, that you should, be a bit insulted by Molly just being like, yeah, once you get to a certain age, you could die any day. And it's like, well, That's not really how that works. Like I said, I think I should finish it by the end of the day, but I will say that already this is probably going to be a middle of the road mystery unless, you know, something happens that really frustrates me. But that's okay because I really want to be able to say I've read all of Agatha Christie's canon at some point, and I can take this off my list. Even though it's a white elephant, I really hope that I don't get 2 white elephants in a row because that is just going to slow me down so much. But yeah, I'll let you guys know when I finish this book. I just finished my second gift and now it's time to grab another one. But first, let's talk about how Agatha Christie's Caribbean Mystery is. To be honest, it was really entertaining. I enjoyed being with Miss Marple and I feel as though she got stronger as the narrative went, but is it plausible? Absolutely not. Like, it's really insane. There are multiple people who die and that's entertaining, but it kind of speaks to the fact that this is a Marple from the 60s. And actually with my patrons right now, I am reading, it's a reread for me, but I'm reading 450 from Paddington. This is from the 1950s and you can tell the difference. This is just so much better and I really love this Miss Marple. This one, it's entertaining, but it really isn't among her greater works. I will say there are some really great takeaway lines. For instance, when she's talking to Mr. Raphael, who is the character that we see kind of come back in a certain unique way in Nemesis, where he tells her that conversations with you might be dangerous, and her response is just perfect and very typical of Golden Age detective fiction, in my opinion. Conversations are always dangerous if you have something to hide. And I love that because Miss Marple is also among those characters who emphasized that people think the city, urban settings are where crime flourishes, but in reality, it's village life. The idyllic setting of everyone knowing each other, slower life, and that's where the most sinister crimes occur. So it is fun. I enjoy the setting, but it's not that good of an Agatha Christie. I would absolutely never recommend this as a first Agatha Christie. If you want some recommendations from me, be sure to let me know in the comments because I can provide you a list. This would not be on there. All right, as I said, I have all of these gifts I still need to get through. Currently, we've got 2 down. Unfortunately, potentially 14 to go because we've got 3 more white elephants and 11 more truly books of Murdermas. So let's see what my patrons have decided for me to read next. All right, we've got number 12. Oh my gosh, what if it's a second white elephant? I don't know how I would cope. I really hope it's not. Okay, we've got 5, 14, 4, 7, 16, 1. It's probably gonna be on the bottom. You know what's really weird? I've only been pulling green Christmas presents so far. That seems ominous. Okay, let's open this up. It's a thicker one compared to the other 2. Let's see if I can. Yes, we have a book of Murdermas. This is one that I've really been wanting to read for quite some time. Murder for Christmas by Frances Duncan, another classic Golden Age. We've had 3 Golden Ages in a row. I promise I've got some modern mysteries in these pages, in these gifts. I talk about pages all day, but yeah, we haven't gotten to them. So this is just a vlog of Golden Age. So very intriguing. This one, I'm so excited for it. A festive mystery for the holiday season, mulled wine, mince pies, and murder. It was published in 2017, but the original publication date is 1949. I'm really pumped because Murder for Christmas, it always reminds me of Murder After Christmas by Rupert Latimer, and that is one of my favorite Golden Age murder mysteries for Christmas time, and I've been meaning to reread that because it's kind of become a tradition. So we'll see if this ends up living up to that expectation, but this is kind of the first traditional Christmas mystery in this, you know, challenge that I'm doing, because the moving toy shop was not for Christmas time, but it had elements that obviously made us think of Christmas. And then obviously I had my first white elephant with a Caribbean mystery. So yeah, Murder for Christmas. Oh my gosh. I really hope this one hits it out of the park because that's what I expect it to do. Friends, I am only 3 chapters into Murder for Christmas, and I'm already thinking, could this be my favorite Christmas mystery of all time? I think it might be. I am enjoying myself so much. The tension is delicious. We are getting to know all of the characters, and there are quite a few at this Christmas party. There are some who are regulars, some who are new this year, and then of course we have our detective, Mordecai Tremaine, who is causing some tension for some of the characters, being like, why is he here? Why is he watching us? We're lying to him, and he seems to know it. Meanwhile, Mordecai is also there under false pretenses. He was invited by the patriarch, Benedict Graham, but there was an additional note that came with the invitation from his secretary, Nicholas Blaze, telling him, we also may need you because there are some suspicious activities or something strange is about to happen, so you may want to be with us on Christmas Eve. And Mordecai can't help but be intrigued, and he knows that he would pretty much feel FOMO if he didn't go, so he ends up canceling his plans with family just so he can go and be this stranger among people who all know each other. And I'm eating it up. I already have a few tabs for how lush the language is. I'm really liking the setup and the descriptions that we're getting from Francis Duncan. I'm really impressed. For instance, as Mordecai is driving to the estate, he has some thoughts that just really stick with me. He was running into adventure. Somewhere ahead of him, a problem was waiting for him, and there was an anticipatory tingling within him. Not since those long summer days when terror had lain upon the loveliness of Dalmering had he tasted the thrill of a real-life crime investigation. His appetite for detection had been compelled to feed upon literature, and he had forgotten the sordid background of hate, fear, and jealousy. He had forgotten that the end of the pursuit was sick disillusionment and the destruction of a human creature. He was conscious only of the excitement of the chase and the keenness of testing his brain against the cunning of a murderer. Quite suddenly, he realized the way his thoughts were running and sobered. What talk was this of murder? Toward what fantastic destination was his imagination leading him? Like, he realizes that he's already expecting a murder. And I kind of love that because it breaks the fourth wall a little bit, that, yeah, these investigators just are constantly running into some type of crime that they have to solve. And then there is his attention to detail surrounding other characters. For instance, Tremaine recalled what Nicholas Blaze had told him of the Christmas atmosphere Benedict Graham delighted to create in Sherbrooke, and he wondered whether Loring, a professor who's also a guest at the party, would thaw beneath its friendly warmth, or whether he would remain chillingly rimmed with frost, a disapproving and icy spectator. At the moment, the odds seem to be heavily on the frost continuing. So we're just very clearly set in winter, very clearly set in the Christmas season, and that is what I need in a Christmas mystery. Obviously, the first 2 books within this vlog weren't Christmas because they weren't set during Christmas. That wasn't the point of them, but this has given me a taste of it, and I'm so excited for this book to continue, and also the other Christmas related mysteries that I have to unwrap. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna binge it. I know I'm gonna binge this one, and I'll be letting you guys know my thoughts very soon. But as I said before, I will be doing some decorating. I've got the fairy lights. I also have this really nice red ribbon that I need to do something with. And I was also thinking I could take you guys book shopping with me because I have to do a book return. So I'm probably gonna do that on Friday, which is in a couple days from now. And who knows, I might take some early Christmas gifts home with me. But for now, let's continue on with Murder for Christmas. And I'm feeling it's a 5-star. I'm gonna say it right now. I am really, really enjoying it. It is Thanksgiving Day, and I just finished Murder for Christmas. It was so good. This is 100% 5 stars. It's a book that I could totally see myself rereading every single Christmas. I am obsessed. Francis Duncan is just such an excellent writer. I felt as though his prose was on point. I was fascinated. I was intrigued. I really loved the descriptions of the setting, both because there were vibes from Christmas, but there was also some darkness with the various characters that we were dealing with and all of the secrets they were hiding, why they were all brought to this manor, and it ended up coming together in such a really lovely way. I'm also obsessed with Mordecai Tremaine, and I do want to read more mysteries following him. This was my first experience, and I imagine that it's somewhere in the middle of this series, especially because there were nods to other mysteries that happened before this. There weren't any spoilers. You can definitely read this as a standalone. Yeah, Mordecai Tremaine is actually easily one of my favorite detectives that I've ever read, because he has the observational skills that you expect with Sherlock Holmes, Hercule Poirot, and all of the other greats that we have in this genre, but he's also very subtle. He gives off this attention to humility, and he provides a really excellent performance where he doesn't want people to be aware of how good he actually is, and he reads their body language, the tension in their voice, and knows when to pull back, knows when to stop probing and put his suspects at ease. And I really loved it. Plus, just the way that Francis Duncan writes is really beautiful. There were moments where I was wrapped up in the setting, the fact that this is Christmas time, the snow surrounding the estate, but there were also really lovely, insightful descriptions of characters through the observational eye of Mordecai Tremaine, and also the darkness that has settled within this estate as characters become ever more suspicious of each other and they keep their secrets as close to their chest as possible. I'm obsessed. I loved it so much. This was such an easy 5 stars, and I'm so glad that I have this, because I will definitely be rereading it, I think, every Christmas. Honestly, I'm starting to rack them up. Oh, I'm so glad I got a 5-star out of this vlog, because this was so good. And again, a 5-star for my first Christmas related mystery. I hope this isn't the highlight, because if this is the highlight, it's gonna be really depressing, but I'm pumped, and I have all of my other Christmas gifts in front of me. I should say Murdermas. I gotta keep to the theme, my Murdermas books. Now, remember, I've read 3 books out of 16. 2 of them have been books for Murdermas. 1 of them was a white elephant. So we'll see if my patrons at the manor, my guests, are continuing to help me out or gonna, slow down my progress. So let's see what the next book's gonna be. Number 5, okay. All right, let's see if it's actually a red gift, because I've only been unwrapping green ones so far, which is just really odd. It's not intentional at all. Okay, number 5 with the bears. This is a bit thicker too. This one was thicker as well, a little bit squat. So, okay. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm nervous. Okay, so ready? We're gonna do the reveal. What is it? Oh my gosh! I'm so excited. So our first modern book, but also this is a middle grade mystery. Actually, this was one, I have such a funny story that I'll quickly tell you. I have a book club with the manor. I've got 2. One is for suspects and up, and the other one is for my sleuths, my top tier. But for the suspects, witnesses, and sleuths, it's only murders for, what is it called? Only murders in the book club. And for December, that's the one, it's bi-monthly, that we are doing. And I provided 3 options. One of them was Green Glass Hotel, and I searched everywhere in my personal library, and I was like, I swear I own this. Where is it? And then I realized it must be one of these packages. So I was thinking, if it ends up winning, I'm either gonna have to read it from the library or just wait for it to turn up. So it's gonna be a very late read for me, because I wasn't really sure when it would turn up, but it didn't end up winning anyway. We're reading A Curious Beginning, which no, we're not. What are we reading? Why can't I remember? Oh no, we are reading Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson, because it's still wintry, but what's really fun about it is it's wintry for Australia, for the Southern Hemisphere, so I still felt like it fit the theme for December. So yeah, I'm so excited, and this will be a really nice, easy read, and I'm gonna start it today. Why not? Because I'm really in the mood, and it looks really, really fun. Plus, it was the winner of the Edgar Award for Best Juvenile Mystery. Okay, I'm not wasting any more time. Let me just go read this book. This has to be a very quick update because I am literally in front of Barnes & Noble to return a book, and I just don't want the public to see me recording in my car. It's embarrassing. It feels really awkward to me. The book I'm returning is Cat Plus Gamer Volume 6. It's because when I ended up getting it in the mail, I did pre-order it. You can see that there is like a rip, and it just was really sad to me. You can also see there's like ridges where it got like wrinkled. And so I ended up contacting my local Barnes & Noble, checking in on the return policy. They said that with an exchange, the 30-day policy is kind of null and void as long as I come within like 3 days, or I don't know. That was my understanding. So fortunately they had a copy. We're going to do an exchange, which is very exciting because I still do really want to read the 6th volume of Cat Plus Gamer. I have volume 7 actually on pre-order. I need to double check when that's coming, but basically I'm also halfway through Green Glass House. I am having just a delightful time with this middle grade wintry mystery. We have this lovely duo of detectives. Our main character, Milo, he's adopted, and that's something that he really struggles with. He doesn't like people pointing it out. It makes him uncomfortable to wonder what his life could be like if his parents, the Pines, hadn't adopted him, and also acknowledging that he looks very different from his parents. His parents are white and he is of Asian descent, and so it just makes him really uncomfortable, and he's having a bit of an identity crisis. And fortunately, he has been distracted by all of the strangers, these weird guests who are coming by. All of them are surprised to see that they aren't the only ones visiting, because this is a bit of an off-season visit, and some of them seem to know each other. They all seem to be very fascinated by Green Glass House, its origins, and they're just very mysterious, suspicious characters. There's also been a couple thefts lately, which is putting everyone else on edge. But the reason why I'm saying there's a duo of detectives is because Milo has buddied up with the younger sister, or younger daughter, I should say, of the cook. The cook and the older sister came to help do like food preparations for the guests, and then we ended up having the younger sister arrive named Meddy. Now I have some theories, I have some thoughts. There have been certain details that have kind of put me on guard about Meddy, and I don't want to say anything because it would definitely be a spoiler. But if I'm right, I find that to be really fascinating, especially when we're talking about a middle grade mystery, its complexities, and just I'm interested to see how Milford ends up like taking care of I don't know, it seems very like precarious is all I'm gonna say. I'm very intrigued though, and I feel pretty confident about my theory, but I'm not gonna say anything because again, it would spoil it if I'm right. As far as why people are intrigued by the house and why they think Milo is the key to everything, I still don't know. But yeah, it's really awesome. There has been some great, I guess we'll say like mixed media. Well, first and foremost, as you know, you expect with a middle grade, every chapter opens up with a cute little image, and some of them are like more pivotal than others as far as like what goes on in the chapter that's following. And oh yeah, actually, wow, I just saw that this one, okay, anyway, I'm getting distracted, but yeah, I really love when we have illustrations. I wish more adult books had that. And you can also see that there's mixed media because there are letters, there's been notes that people have been finding, and then on top of that, like you can see, for instance, like they're taking notes, and there have also been stories being told. So it's like a story within a story, to get people talking, to get people to reveal things about themselves through storytelling. So I don't know, I've been really enjoying it. I've been loving the wintry setting because they're like stuck in this storm outside, and it's been a good time. So I'll let you guys know what I think when I finish and then have to unwrap another gift. I just finished this book and the author's note made me cry. Oh my gosh. Kate Milford, you are a lovely person. I will give you all my thoughts tomorrow, but yeah, that was really something. I am obsessed with these lights. Oh my gosh, they also just changed. Did you notice that? They were blinking, and just as I mentioned them, they suddenly got really shy. I have to look up how to manage these because they're doing some weird stuff. That's for future Leandra to worry about. But I ended up finishing Green Glass House and I adored it. Please ignore how crazy these lights are. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with them. But this book was so good. As you saw with that little clip last night, I was in tears, and it was because of the author's note specifically. This has so many really lovely themes and commentary, areas of discussion that I think we need more, especially in middle grade literature when it comes to adoption, feeling accepted within your family, acknowledging that you are different, but that doesn't make you any less whole compared to others. And also the friendship between Milo and Meddy was just really fun to see. I didn't mention this, but it does give some D&D-esque kind of, I need to turn this off 1 second. I love the lights, but there's gotta be some type of setting because that is obnoxious. But anyways, so there are some like D&D elements in here. They call it Odd Trails, but it's a role-playing game that Meddy introduces Milo to, and it allows them to pretend to be different people as they investigate the strangers in the house, and it just brings them closer together. And I did have a theory about Meddy, and I was right, so I will keep it hush-hush because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But this was just a really excellent book, and I'm so glad that this vlog ended up leading me to finally read it. So good job, past Leandra, for wrapping all of these wintry reads and forcing me to take a couple of them off of my TBR. With that said though, this is the end of part 1 for my 12 books of Murdermas. I did pretty well. I have read 3 books for Murdermas, and I have unwrapped 1 white elephant, meaning that there are still 3 more hiding within the wrapped gifts. And that also means that I have 9 more books that I'm going to need to read in order to fully accomplish my 12 books of Murdermas goal. I am really excited, very nervous, and let's do a little bit of a teaser. I also have the gifts in front of me. I've got my jar, and there's only 1 more piece of paper in there from my manor guests. So let's see what is decided. I should have put my gifts down, but I didn't. I have committed. Number 9. I remember distinctly that Tennille and Bronwyn agreed to vote for number 9. So friends, you're gonna get your wish. Oh my gosh, look at this. Number 9. It's a hefty one. It feels like it's hardcover as well. So I'm gonna give you a teaser. We're not gonna unwrap it fully because that's gonna be for the next vlog. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna unwrap a corner and you'll figure out if you can guess what the book is. Uh-oh. I'm already nervous because that looks like a palm tree. It looks like a white elephant. We'll see. I can't remember if I had any like Christmassy mysteries set in the Caribbean or anything, but oh gosh, let me know if you can guess what this title might be. I'll officially unwrap it at the beginning of my next vlog. Thanks everyone for getting to the end. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if there are any guesses that you have about this one or anything else I have in my pile. And if you're not feeling chatty, feel free to provide some type of wintry emoji. So a snowflake, a snowman, maybe an angry storm cloud that is threatening snow. And thank you so much to my manor guests specifically for being, you know, game for my shenanigans, for providing me with numbers. And also if you want to play along, feel free to provide other prompts that I could use for this wrapping, maybe like a number generator or some other type of way for me to figure out how to choose these books because my jar is empty, meaning I need more prompts. So yeah, I hope to see everybody in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye!